I am 28 years old. I started my fitness journey 6 years ago after a year after I had my son. What really sparked that for me was my sister-in-law is a photographer. So we went out for Labor Day and she had posted the pictures afterwards, and I had seen myself and I was like, is that what I look like? And so that kind of drew a spark in my heart, and that's where my fitness journey had started. But since then, it's like I've really just loved everything about fitness, everything about like fueling my body. A year later, I ended up getting, so to start, I was 220 pounds when I seen that picture. And then from then, I ended up dropping 100 pounds just fueling my body and working out. And then I ended up getting pregnant again and had my little girl. From then, I actually suffered with, not suffered, but I had postpartum depression, and the gym was really what I leaned on to help me. Yeah, so I've been in the gym for 6 years. I'm just excited to start my journey with my both my kids. I adore both my kids, and they're both doing it along with me, and they're rooting me on, and I just love like everything about being able to involve them and show them a healthier way.
When you were pregnant the first time, were you still kind of struggling with all of that more so, or what kind of grasp on that did you have at that specific time?
After I got out of high school, I wasn't really like, I was always in sports in high school. So, like, I never struggled during high school, but it was after high school where I didn't go to the gym. I I didn't need to go to the gym in my eyes. Like, I was fit, like I was healthy. And then I got married, and I just didn't see a need for it before. Even after my first pregnancy, like I didn't see myself in the mirror like I was that person, like you always get the angles and stuff like that. So you never really see yourself until someone else posts the reality of what you actually look like. Because, there's filters, there's everything. Like people can manipulate a photo anyway.
Kind of dive into a little bit about what it was like for you to see yourself in a way that you've never seen yourself before.
It was hard. I didn't want to believe it, in all honesty. And I didn't know even where to start or how to start because, again, growing up in high school, I was always active. Like I should know.
Was there a time in there where there was like a sense of like a loss of control?
I'm a sweet tooth person. So I think it was my pregnancy. Like I really craved a lot of things, mainly French fries and like all the fried foods. And I think that's kind of where I lost control, is because I always ate healthy growing up, but just once my pregnancy started, that's when I incorporated like a lot of the junk and eating out a lot because that's what I craved. I craved French fries. I craved pretzels, like not pretzels, but the big old pretzels you get at like a carnival or something. And then I just like got used to eating like that. And, I couldn't stop. So even after my last first first competition, but last competition, I had my first cookie. It was crumble cookie. And that was the first cookie I've had in 5 years since I had my second child. And like ever since then, like I'm about to do another competition in a couple days, and ever since then, like these past 4 weeks have been so rough. I just crave cookies and crave sweets, and I never had that whole problem during my whole prep.
Very.
So yeah, it's for sure a problem.
Are you a personal trainer, online fitness coach, or gym owner on the verge of burnout? Are you wanting to grow your fitness business but can't add more hours to your hectic schedule? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today. And for you, when you kind of have like the time period of like making that realization of like, okay, maybe we need to do something, we need to make a change here. How long did it take you to actually start implementing things within your life to make those changes?
Immediately. I was at the gym every day. I was really actually, I'm like, if I'm at the gym, I've also got to work on my nutrition too. So, I mean, I cut out what I thought everything that was bad for me, carbs, sugars, and just really ate protein and salad. That's really what I lived on. And that wasn't healthy either, but it got the weight off.
Yeah. And for you, where did you go? Where did you seek that information out that you utilized to make those changes?
So I actually moved, but when I started at a local gym, and I was doing fitness classes because I didn't know where to start. And these fitness classes kind of trained you like inside the gym what to do when you're on your own. So that was nice. I also loved Zumba. So I just enjoyed doing the classes.
And for like the nutritional stuff, at what point did you feel like you were getting more of like a grasp on that? You talked about like making those changes and switching things up, but like did you start to feel like, okay, now I have kind of a better grasp on it, or did that come with maybe competing, or when did that really start to where you feel like, okay, I'm actually fueling my body now?
Okay, so I again cut out everything, and I didn't realize how unhealthy that was until I started working with my coach a year and a half ago. And that is really where I learned the beauty of macros and how I can still enjoy foods that I love just in moderation. And I can still enjoy everything. It's just planning out my day. And it makes life so much easier. And I am so thankful that I have learned macros because I'd still be eating salads.
And having that freedom to make those choices, is that something that at first when you realized that you had that, was that something that was hard at all to be like, okay, I can fit this in, but should I?
So I adjusted really well to the whole macros. I took a recipe and I would kind of make it my own just so I would fit it in. So I was really strict on like getting everything in and making sure like if this regular cookie isn't going to work for me, I'm going to make a protein cookie that's going to be even better and at least give me some sort of nutrients.
Is that something that you still like to have that kind of like creativity with? Is that one of the things that you really enjoy about it?
Oh yeah, I love creating recipes and I love twisting them into my own. I'm a big soup person, so in the fall, like I love soups, but my husband, he's and kids, they don't like soups at all. So I've learned to make myself single servings. And it just works for me. I know macros doesn't work for everyone or it confuses some people, but yeah, I just enjoy it.
When did you really learn about competing and learn about that side of it? And then what made you want to actually try that?
So this is fun. The gym I was going to, I've never heard of competing before, anything about it, but the gym I was going to 6 years ago, they had this girl, I think she had either just got out of high school or something, but she was always like training so hard, just like lifting weights. And I'm like, I wonder what she does. And then like they had an upstairs where we'd also do classes, and there's days where she would be doing her posing. I'm like, So I asked the trainer, I said, do you know what she's doing? And she said, yeah, she's a competitor. I was like, I want to do that someday. Like that's awesome. But I've never like talked to this girl or anything, so she doesn't even know this.
So has no idea that she's the inspiration behind what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's
What I'm kind of glad because I was like, I would love to do that someday.
that's funny. And did you continue to watch her for a while and kind of start to kind of put the pieces together more just from what she was doing and then make that transition after that?
Yeah, so yeah, I followed her on social media and I just watch and see what she posted. And then I was also on TikTok like a couple years ago, like 2 years ago, and just some random bodybuilders, just swiping up just some random female bodybuilders. And I'm like, maybe it's a sign. And so somehow my coach, after her first show, she like an ad or something popped up on my Facebook. And I was like, okay, this is definitely a sign. So I reached out to her and I was just asking her questions of how I can get started. And I told her, like, I want to compete. And she's like, all right, let's start.
When you decided that you wanted to do that, was that like a very kind of instinctual thing or something that you kind of had to even maybe more like okay, let me really sleep on it, let me think about it, let me talk to people, so, somebody about it, whoever that may be, consider kind of all the variables, or was it just kind of like let me get into this thing and we'll kind of figure it out from there?
Well, I talked to my husband about everything and I brought it up to him. And he was kind of like, bodybuilding? What is that? Like, again, we don't know what bodybuilding is. So I was like, well, let me just talk to my coach and she can explain everything and then I'll let you know. And I was like, but I'm going to do it anyways. Um, so yeah, I'm more of a, I'm just going to do this and then tell you kind of person.
And were there any specifics or anything that like you had any just like general concerns or that he had any like general concerns about just like not really knowing a ton but kind of getting a glimpse into some information? Was there anything at all that was like just it made you question like what is this going to be like? I mean, obviously like the whole thing you don't know, but was there anything in particular that stood out for you?
Honestly, I kind of felt like blind going into the whole process. Like I knew I had to work out. I knew I had to track food. Like I was already doing everything. It's just when do my macros get cut? Like when does my cardio go up? Like stuff like that. I was kind of blind to. My husband, he knew nothing about bodybuilding. So we were kind of like both blind together. It wasn't until after like my last competition, he came and he was like, holy cannoli. He goes, I cannot believe how big those guys were. And then that's when he started like researching and like doing his own work in it. Cause he was like, not that he ever wants to compete, but he was just interested in seeing what I was doing. I was actually, there's a male that goes to my gym who's competing this weekend with me. And he always gets talking to me. And he was kind of like going over his macros. And I was like, mine are similar. So it's kind of cool. And it's kind of cool to see what different coaches do with their competitors. No coach is the same, obviously, but I also follow a couple girls from my previous and this current competition, and we kind of share our different, like what we're doing different. I know some people frown upon that because you gotta, but again, I went into this blind, so I want to see what everyone else is doing. And I feel like people aren't as open with their journey as I am. Like I post about everything. So I just want people to see like if they ever want to do it, like this is what I'm doing. When my coach came to the competition with me, there was a lot of girls, they're like, do you use waist trainers and stuff like that? Like questioning her because they're like, my coach doesn't do any of that. So it was just kind of cool to see like the different perspectives of why doesn't your coach do that, or why does your coach do that? And it's nice to see like other competitors sharing, like, not that anyone should steal what someone else's coach is doing, because you hire your coach for a reason.
Right.
But it's just kind of cool to see the difference in the coaching styles out there.
It's so cool too because we're living in an era where there's so much information.
Everyone's body's different. So, like, I'm sensitive to stuff that someone else is not. So, like, it's just the human body is just like so cool. And to just study it is just like crazy.
The adaptability is one of the coolest parts to me.
I wish more people like just understood the importance of it. Like, I know I didn't, and I was kicking myself in the pants for it. Um so I just, my goal in life is just to help as many moms, women, people just getting out of high school, girls in high school, like, to realize you should be starting this now, because it's just going to get worse if you don't.
Are you a personal trainer who wants to scale and grow your business online? Have you been coaching online for years, yet don't know how to incorporate online into your current business model? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today. I just think we're missing such an opportunity to tell people, like, we have all this great information that we're missing out on telling people about it.
As we go through this whole process, we're teaching our kids as well how you go to a grocery store, how you read a nutrition label, and they're only 5 and 7. And so my son, he'll pick something up and he's like, "Oh, there's like 30 carbs in this." Like, it's just cool. Like, even they pick up like your habits as well. So we actually used to own some nutrition shops back when we lived in New York. And I would always say, there are so many people that need to just be reached, like, somehow, whether it's a fitness class, whether it's, you know, something healthy. And then when we moved down here, my husband's like, there are so many obese people in the world. He goes, how can we help reach these people to just show them the way, like, show them where to start? So I ended up creating a free page on Facebook for women to just come, and I can give them tips and advice on where to start. And a lot of them are so hungry for information.
Well, I think too, like, even having a place to start is tricky because there's so much out there that's like, if you do this, you'll be magically better in 5 minutes.
I feel like people at that point, they've given up hope, kind of like, I don't know where to start, and then someone offers them, this product, and oh, it's working for them, so it must work for me. Everyone is different. Everyone needs different advice for their body. And you're only going to get that through a certified nutrition or a personal trainer, someone that studied this art, whatever it is, to help you.
In our society, we don't really look at, we look to doctors a lot, which, they have a lot of information in their field, but they don't necessarily have the same information that a dietitian or nutritionist would have, or a personal trainer would have on being fit and healthy, right? Like, I think we put too much of an emphasis on the medical system and not enough emphasis on, like, whatever you would call before I guess maybe the health system, right? Like the everybody that should come before an emergency, or should come before something gets out of hand.
For sure. Except I had this one client that I was working with. She said she was going to a dietitian, and the dietitian told her that she should not be eating more than 20 carbs a day.
That's
Yeah.
really strange.
Yeah. And I was like, hold up. Who told you that? So like, I don't know. I just feel like people are thrown every which way. They're like, it's kind of like a trust thing too. It's like, who do I even trust?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's why a lot of people also don't start is because of money. Obviously, money you use for everything and everything's going up.
Yeah.
So it's like they're putting their health on the back burner. But I've seen and heard a quote that said you can invest in your health or you can invest in your medical bills later. I
Yeah.
guess you choose, right? You got to weigh the options. There's affordable ways. There's YouTube. I offer free advice and just free fitness tips or just, for someone who's just starting out or who's wanting to get back in it, who's just been burnt out.
Right.
And I feel like on my part, I know that if I can, I've been through it. So I know like where they're at and I've paid money. So if I can help you at least start for free, just start.
Well, the sad thing is it shouldn't really it really shouldn't come down to even needing to pay for information. We should be getting that. Like I was talking about before, we should be getting information in schools. We should be, you know, I don't know. You have to like at some point you have to value, I feel like, a person over the dollar. And that's the sad part is like people have been so ingrained in like all of the marketing of the junk food and all of the way of life that has led them to where they want to be, that they really want to be healthy, but they want to, it's almost like I feel like they want, how can I be healthy but still do the same things that I'm doing? And that's when they try to seek out, and that's when people do try to take advantage and say you can eat pizza and burgers and pasta and ice cream every single day and cookies and brownies, and all you have to do is this. And because people want that, they still want to like, they don't want to change their life, they just want to change the outcome of their life.
Yeah, they're looking for a quick fix. They actually don't teach it in school. Like they don't teach this stuff in school, which they should very well because out of high school I was clueless. Again, I was fit. It's just I feel like schools need to like start incorporating it even from like a young age. I mean, if the parents aren't, like at least the school can do something.
Right.
But there's so many quick fixes and there's more popping up. Like it seems monthly that
Mm.
there's a new fad or something like that. The first time I heard keto, I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, you can eat a pound of bacon a day? Like, what? That is not healthy. They got to start somewhere because even nowadays, like parents don't, some parents don't even help their kids with homework or anything. So it's like the kid goes to school and whatever they learn at school, that's all they're learning. Parents have to just be more involved in knowing their kids' daily lives. What are you learning? You need to invest more in your kids.
Yeah. Kind of getting back to the bodybuilding side of things, when you really decided that you wanted to compete, what did you have to do differently to transition into becoming a competitor?
So in the gym, I've never actually had like a set routine. Like I just go in, I just hit everything, like arms, legs, abs, everything. So going in, I've learned that it's not about just hitting everything. It's about consistency. And consistency is not showing up at the gym every day. Consistency is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Have the same routine. Like, do the same routine for weeks. Like, don't change a thing. If it's working, like, keep doing it. And I do the same with my food as well.
This podcast is sponsored by Smoking Gun Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company that strives to give back to those in need. Don't forget to use code TWR10 for a 10% discount at checkout.
I eat the same food every single day because you know what? It's working. and I'm seeing results. So why change it? Sometimes people would ask me, how do you eat the same thing every single day? I'm like, I'm seeing results, so why would I change it? That's more important to me than what I eat.
I think it's interesting how people get so wrapped around food. Making that the center of your whole day just seems like such a waste to me. Like there should be more important things in someone's life than I can't wait till I get to eat XYZ, whatever it is.
Yeah, and that's the same in the gym though, too. For me, it's like I'm fine with sticking to the same routine. Like, give me a new routine. I'll start off at a lower weight and just work myself up. And, as long as it's working, I'm happy. But there are the times where I am doing a workout split for like, I'd say 3 months. And I'm like, okay, I'm bored of this. And that's when I need a change, because if I'm bored, I don't want to be bored because I don't want to lose motivation.
Right.
So some people are like that. Some people need more change more than others. But if it's working, why change it?
Moving forward into your future in the sport, is it something that you've thought a lot about?
I enjoyed prep. I loved every second of it. I mean, it does have its hard moments, but I loved it, and I'm going to continue as long as I can, as long as my body lets me, and as long as I'm able. I just think there's so much beauty in it. And there's so much more I still have to tap into. I would love to get my pro card, obviously, like everyone would be. But even when I get my pro card, I would still compete, like, because I just enjoy it. I just love everything about it. I love the schedule, like, not the schedule, but the routine, the consistency, like having a goal to work towards. I mean, after prep, I still have a goal to work towards. I'm going to nationals, So there's always something. Like there's always something to look forward to get you to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. What would be, whether that be a piece of advice or a piece of information, what one thing would you want to share with somebody out there who's maybe struggling or who has hit the point that you are at, and it's like, where do I start, or what do I do, or I'm just kind of feeling like I can't do anything? What's that one piece of advice for that person out there?
My advice would be find someone who has knowledge, who has been in your shoes, and talk to them, because they're going to be the person that you relate to the most. And that is how I found my coach. Is I seen her picture and I was like, I want to look like she does. And that was my motivation, was I'm going to look like she does. So find someone you are motivated by or inspired by and follow them, talk to them, get tips on what they do, and just work towards your goals.
I really appreciate you coming on,
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it so much. I had a great time.
as did I. And if you want to, before we head out, if you want to share your social media or anything like that, you can.
K.B Fitness is my Instagram link. And then Kaylin Bassette for Facebook.
If you're tired of searching for a coach or trainer, somebody who knows what they're talking about and has experience, make sure you go check out the new Coach's Corner on weightroompodcast.com. You can find quality, qualified coaches to help you achieve your goals, whether that's in bodybuilding or just general fitness. Stop wasting time and start achieving your goals today. The link to the Coach's Corner is down in the description below.